Some stories aren't told. They awaken on their own. Welcome to Whispers. The sun was already giving up when Daniel Price left the interstate and turned onto the two-lane road that sliced the desert like a dull knife. He'd been driving since late morning, a long haul from Phoenix to a construction evaluation in Nevada, trusting an offline map he'd downloaded the night before. The GPS had flashed a yellow warning, limited service area, but the route still looked clean. County Road 56 would bend north, merge into a dirt stretch, then reconnect near a place his map called Desert Creek. A dot, a name. That was all he needed. Gas, maybe a coffee, a place to breathe. At first, the emptiness soothed him. He liked the sense of being between places. No emails, no calls, no one asking anything of him. The desert kept its own counsel. The sky, wide as an ocean flipped upside down, thinned from blue to a pale metallic sheen. Wind shoved sand across the asphalt like the desert was trying to erase the road, one grain at a time. He watched his fuel needle tick gently down and told himself not to watch it again. A quarter tank. Plenty. He'd make Desert Creek in half an hour. Then the radio died. Not a soft fade. A hard click into static, and nothing. He tried scanning. Just hiss. He turned it off and listened to the engine. Steady. Fine. When his phone dropped from one bar to no service, he put it face down in the cup holder and pretended he didn't care. It was the sign that changed something in him. A wooden board, crooked on a single splintered post, half swallowed by sand. The letters were still there if you let your eyes soften. 12 miles. He exhaled. Relief felt almost heavy. The road narrowed. Asphalt became patched tar, then scabbed gravel, then a firm, packed dirt that hummed under the tires. Twilight fell fast, as if someone somewhere had flipped a switch. The last rind of sun collapsed behind the horizon, and the sky went to iron. He checked the fuel again. Less than a quarter now. "Don't be dramatic," he said out loud. "You'll be fine." The first building appeared like a mirage, just a darker shape against dark. A water tower, a main street, a grid of false fronts. No neon, no headlights, no glow behind curtains. An entire town, silent and paused. He coasted to a stop beside what looked like a general store. A tin sign clacking idly against the siding. And, strangest of all, an "Open" placard hanging crookedly in the glass. He killed the engine. Silence jumped at him like an animal. No insects. No far-off trucks. He got out and closed the door as if the air were a sleeping thing. Down the street, a lone street lamp flickered and sputtered to life. Sick yellow, buzzing faintly. The cone of light didn't reach the ground. It hovered. Unreal. Daniel hesitated. The back of his neck prickled. "Gas," he whispered. "Find gas." The general store door wasn't locked. The handle turned without resistance and the hinges made a dry, low complaint. He stepped into a cool, stale stillness. Dust lay on the counter, but thinly, like the place had been closed last week. He ran his gaze across shelves. The shelves were filled, everything neatly arranged. He looked at the floor. Footprints. His. Only his. He backed away. He crossed the street toward the boarding house. He reached for the knob and stopped. Upstairs, in the window above the door, there was someone standing. Footsteps above him. Not the settling groan of an old house. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. 1, 2, 3. He took one step toward the staircase and stopped. On the wall, a framed photograph of a parade. In the foreground, a woman he almost recognized, because he'd just seen her in the upstairs window. Black hair pinned at the nape, pale face, a dress too dark for summer. A whisper brushed his ear. Not beside him, not behind him, inside him, like a thought that wasn't his. Hello. He pulled the lobby door. It stuck. The footsteps upstairs crossed the hall and stopped above him. A soft hum followed. A woman's voice, tuneless, as if remembering how to sing. He pulled the door again. It swung open easily. He stepped onto the porch and the hum died so cleanly it felt cut with a knife. He went back to the car. The key turned. The engine tried. The sound that came back was a cough. He tried again. The engine spun and fell. He looked up at the open placard in the general store window. It was swinging now, back and forth, back and forth. No wind. He got out of the car so fast the door bounced. He ran. At the end of the block, a church. A Bible lay open on the lectern. A thin film of dust lay across the page as if someone had exhaled there and never inhaled again. Behind him, a breath. He turned. A woman stood in the doorway. Tall, thin, bare feet. "Ma'am," he said. She didn't answer. He took a step, and she was gone. He went back to the boarding house. He climbed the stairs. At the top, a long corridor ran left and right. Doors half open. In the third doorway, a room waited. "Evelyn," he said before he knew he would. Something answered. A sound arranged into the shape of his name. Daniel, stitched through the air. Far down the corridor, a door stood closed that hadn't been closed a moment ago. He walked toward it. He lifted the cloth over a mirror an inch. His reflection looked back at him. And behind his reflection, in the far-off silver of the glass, a woman sat on the end of the bed with her hands folded in her lap. He dropped the cloth. The mirror sighed. He looked at the bed. Indentation. A weight mark. Fresh. When he reached the top of the stairs, the humming returned. Closer now. More certain. He put his hand on the banister and felt another hand resting there first. "Please," he said. "I need gas. I need to leave." The humming stopped. In the lobby, the ledger's page had turned. At the bottom, a line with no name at all. Only the shape of letters pressed but not inked. He ran. The key turned. The engine roared, then dropped to an obedient idle. He shot down the street. The useless street lamp died mid-buzz. He drove until the first suggestion of dawn bled into the horizon. His phone vibrated in the cup holder. One new message, unknown number. He looked anyway. A photo filled the screen, taken from behind him, inside the car. And in the back seat, barely lit by the glow from the dashboard, a figure sitting where a passenger might sit. The caption came a second later. "You found me." He drove until the interstate rose. He took the on-ramp, a man allowed back into the world. He stopped at a gas station. He filled the tank with hands that shook. He took his phone out. The second message, room 7. He stared at it. He hadn't seen numbers upstairs. He opened his camera roll. A photo, stamped with a location tag that shouldn't have been possible with no service. He pressed it. A door. A brass 7 fixed crookedly above an old keyhole. The angle was right for someone inside a room, facing a mirror, taking a picture of a reflection of a door behind her. He shut the screen off. Epilogue. He did not go back to Desert Creek, but at night, there's a story that moves with the wind. A town that shouldn't be there. A boarding house that never empties. And sometimes, after the story, someone's phone vibrates on the table, and a number they don't know says, "You found me." If you ever see the sign, you don't have to do anything brave. You can tell yourself the fuel will last. But if you stop, if you step onto the porch and hear, understand the one rule. Don't ask for a room. And if you did, don't open the door with the brass 7. The story ends here, but they don't stop watching. Before you go, subscribe, like, and share, or the whispers may follow you home.